Take a deep breath. Look deeply inside the rhythm of your current life. Does it feel heavy? Perhaps you are constantly struggling with the flow of money. The pursuit is relentless. Perhaps the conflicts in your relationships repeat in endless cycles. They never seem to resolve. When these painful patterns emerge, we often whisper the same question. Is this my fate? Do you feel like you are simply a supporting character, dragged along by a predetermined destiny? Do you believe your life has already been given a final, unchangeable verdict? For generations, many have misunderstood the concept of Saju. They see it as a rigid judgment. Let us change that perspective now. Saju, the four pillars of destiny, is not a final sentence handed down by a cosmic judge. It is merely a blueprint. It is a profound guide to the energy you were born with. This is the foundation of Myeongrihak. Think of your Saju not as a verdict, but as the original scenario for a magnificent film. Your film. The scenario describes the setting, the major scenes, and the key challenges you will face. It reveals the natural tendencies of your character. It shows the potential for growth. But the scenario never dictates the final outcome. It never tells the actor which lines to improvise or which path to choose at the crossroads. In this powerful production, you have a critical choice to make. Will you remain in the audience, watching passively as your life unfolds? Will you be a mere spectator to your own story? Or will you step onto the stage, claim the spotlight, and embody the protagonist? It is time to stop reacting to the changing environment, known as Wolji. It is time to understand the script and begin the intentional work of luck improvement. It is time to become the main character of your own life story. Look closely at the foundation of Myeongrihak. It is the 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal, water. We visualize them immediately. We picture the growing tree, the burning flame. But let me ask you this fundamental question. Is fire merely heat? Is wood simply a structure? If your understanding stops at the natural object, the simple physical metaphor, you are standing in the shadow of a colossal misunderstanding. This is the great deception. The Ohaeng system you learned is not the original cosmic principle. What you know today is a politically refined model. Centuries ago, these profound energetic forces were simplified and deliberately altered. Why? The reason lies in power. Ancient ruling powers utilized the Ohaeng system to secure and justify their succession. They needed to prove that their political change, the shift from one dynasty to the next, was not mere violence, but a destiny ordained by the heavens. To achieve this, the abstract nature of the elements had to be converted into rigid, understandable objects. Objects that could easily signify control and sequence. The original Ohaeng described pure, abstract forces, dynamic flow, energy cycles, and processes of transformation. They were currents. When they were forced into simple nature metaphors, the rigid tree, the stagnant water, they lost their core truth. We have trapped a vast cosmic system inside a simple visual analogy. We are taught that wood represents kindness, or that metal means firmness. But these are the attributes of the object. They are not the true nature of the underlying force. This simplification cripples our ability to correctly read the Saju. It leaves us chasing shallow concepts of Wolji, instead of mastering the deep cycle of creation and destruction. You must now doubt everything you thought you knew. To truly practice Myeongrihak, we must strip away the layers of political mythology. We must stop seeing simple, tangible objects. we must begin to perceive the raw, undeniable current of the universe. We must see the five elements not as things, but as pure, living action. When you hear the term Saju, what is the immediate image that comes to mind? Is it a cryptic prediction? A simple calculation of Wolji? For many, Myeongrihak remains locked in the realm of obscure fortune-telling. We treat it as a mystical calculation, rather than a profound understanding of the universe. But this ancient wisdom is not merely about predicting your fate. It is a complete, systematic natural science. To truly grasp Saju, we must go back to the source, back to the origin of the five elements, or Ohaeng. The earliest understanding of Ohaeng is not found in complex Myeongrihak tables. It is documented in the ancient historical text, the Gae-un, the Book of Documents. In this foundational text, the Ohaeng are presented as the five essential functions that sustain existence. They are the mechanisms of ecology, the heartbeat of the seasons. The five elements are the structure of the world's perpetual cycle. Wood is the energy of spring. It is the action of bursting forth, the seed pushing toward the sky, the vigor of new life emerging from the earth. Fire is the energy of summer. It represents full expansion, the heat and abundance when everything is at its peak. Life is vibrant, growth is complete. Metal is the energy of autumn. It is the great turning inward, the ripening, the harvest. Energy condenses, focusing all power into the storage of the seed or the fruit. And water is the energy of winter. It is profound stillness. All things retreat, storing their essence, conserving power in the deep, quiet darkness. This is the real Ohaeng. It is the grand mechanism of birth, growth, harvest, and rest. It is not abstract. It is the powerful, relentless flow of life that surrounds us every moment. To understand your Saju is to understand where you stand within this enormous living system. It is understanding your place in the cycle of nature. We speak of destiny, of the blueprint known as Saju, yet its origin was not mystical prophecy. It began as simple, pure observation. A system of tracking the seasonal dance of nature. A logical model of five interacting energies. How did this scientific framework transform into the profound language of Myeongrihak? The ruling class recognized its inherent power. This system was too effective to remain just a philosophy. It was co-opted. It shifted from understanding nature to controlling society, a system of governance. The emperor assumed the pivotal element. Earth, too. Earth sits at the center, mediating and regulating all things. The ministers and officials were assigned the other four elements: wood, fire, metal, and water. Society itself was mapped onto the universal cycles of creation, Sang-geuk, and control, Sang-geuk. This mapping was essential for stability. It determined who fed power to whom and who was required to restrain whom. Order was enforced through cosmic law, not merely royal decree. For a long period, Myeongrihak remained a sophisticated, logical clockwork, calculated using tools like the Myeongrihak calendar. It was practical math, but history introduced external influences. Ideas migrated from the West, specifically from Indian and Hellenistic astrology. These traditions injected a potent layer of mysticism. They emphasized planetary influence and the concept of spiritual fate. The system ceased being purely descriptive. It became intensely predictive. Thus, the practical observation system was fused with the esoteric language of the stars. This complex inheritance is why Myeongrihak today serves two masters: the precise logic of time and the enduring mystery of Saju. It is the language we use to analyze Wunsi and to pursue the path of luck improvement. Have you ever felt confined by your Saju? Does the reading of your 4 Pillars of Destiny feel like a restrictive label? Many mistakenly believe Myeongrihak is about predicting a fixed and rigid future. This is the deepest misunderstanding we must address. The 5 elements, Ohaeng, are not meant to be a permanent tag defining who you are. They do not limit your potential. Instead, they are an elemental language. They describe the environment. They map the atmospheric energies that surround you from birth. We must stop seeing Ohaeng as a rigid fate and start using it as an insightful guide. Consider your life a grand theatrical stage. Your Saju is the Mansereok blueprint for this stage. It defines the specific set design, the lighting, and the innate materials of your backdrop. For example, are you performing on a damp, misty swamp, an environment heavy with the water element? Or is your backdrop a bright, dry desert of red clay, heavy with fire and earth? Your energy is always interacting with this original set. True mastery begins when you stop accepting the stage as an excuse. When you truly understand the background, you choose your movements wisely. We use the Ohaeng map not to define your Wunsi or fortune, but to reclaim your agency. This knowledge is the key to genuine luck improvement. It allows the true protagonist, you, to step forward and command the scene. We are here to analyze the structure of your unique stage and understand the elements that truly serve you. Where does your story truly begin? What is the permanent stage upon which you act? This stage is the foundational background of your life. It sets the rules of your environment. To understand this setting, we must look deeply into the map of destiny known as Saju. The Myeongrihak system uses the Saju, the 4 pillars, to map the energies of your birth moment. Among these 4 pillars, year, month, day, and hour, one element defines your setting more powerfully than any other. It is the monthly branch, or the Wolji. The Wolji is the secret code to your inherent season. It is not just the date. It is the fundamental climate you will experience throughout your life. Are you born onto a stage of dynamic spring, intense summer, structured autumn, or quiet, conserving winter? This seasonal designation is vital. Your environment dictates your necessary action. Consider the energy of spring. It demands upward growth, expansion, and initiation. If this is your Wolji, your natural tendency is to start new things. Now consider winter. It requires deep rest, introspection, and conservation. If you ignore your seasonal demand, you fight the current of your own stage. The stage determines the tools you possess and the challenges you face. A character moving across an icy stage needs patience and precision. A character in the humid heat needs endurance and resilience. The Wolji reveals your inherent strengths and weaknesses, shaping the flow of your destiny, or Wunsi. Understanding this foundational season is not about predicting the future. It is about respecting your reality. To achieve genuine luck improvement, you must first stop fighting your environment. Discover the season that defines your life. Only then can you choose the steps best suited for your own stage. We stand at the intersection of destiny and choice. Have you truly met the person reflected in the mirror? The one hidden beneath daily habits and expectations? In Myeongrihak, we first examined the monthly branch. We understood the background and the environment that shaped your stage. Now, it is time for the protagonist to step forward. This star is the Ilgan, or the Daymaster. The Ilgan is the heavenly stem of the day you were born. It represents the essential I. Think of your Saju as a deep map of the self. The Day Master is the central point on that map. It defines your fundamental spirit. It governs your deepest psychological framework and your most natural reactions to the world. While other elements of the Saju influence your experiences, the Ilgan is your unchangeable core. It is the seed from which your entire being grows. If you understand your Ilgan, you begin to understand your true motivations. You find the genuine self that exists beyond condition and circumstance. This is not an abstract concept. This is a profound self-introduction. Let us now strip away the outer layers and acknowledge the immutable truth of who you are. This journey into the Day Master is the beginning of genuine self-mastery. Sound. Low, resonant ambient music begins softly and holds. Pause for a moment. Look inward. Why do we repeatedly encounter the same obstacles? Why does the internal dialogue in our minds seem trapped in an endless loop? We strive for change, for progress, yet often find ourselves standing exactly where we began. We repeat the same mistakes, guided by invisible forces. Myeongrihak offers a profound answer. It is not about fate. It is about dynamic forces clearly mapped within your Sajupalja. For too long, the concepts of Sang-geuk, or mutual creation, and Sang-geuk, or mutual control, have been judged simply as good or bad elements. This view is narrow and fundamentally misunderstands their purpose. These are not moral judgments. They are psychological blueprints. Sang-geuk represents the effortless flow, the easy support, the nourishment you receive. It is the path of least resistance, leading to comfort and stability. But growth is rarely found in comfort. Sang-geuk is the essential friction, the resistance, the pressure. It is the clash between your various inner selves, the part that seeks discipline fighting the part that seeks impulse. Consider Sang-geuk as the ultimate psychological plot device for your life story. It highlights exactly where your internal elements collide, where your ambition fights your anxiety, where your natural talent struggles against a challenging environment. The persistent conflict, the recurring mistake, that is the most visible point on your Saju map. It is not a flaw to be eliminated. It is the critical incident waiting for resolution. When you feel stuck, it means the tension between these opposing forces has maximized. You are ready to transcend that tension. Do not run from the friction. Embrace the internal conflict revealed by your chart. It is not chaos. It is the catalyst for genuine evolution. Growth is not born from ease. It is forged in the fire of friction. Understand this internal story, and you finally gain the power to write a new ending. Why do we sometimes feel misplaced? Why does success feel distant, even when we dedicate our utmost energy? This feeling of misalignment is the first clue Myeongrihak offers. Myeongrihak is not about passive fate. It is a precise manual for strategic living. It demands that we understand two essential elements within our Sajupalja. First, your character. We call this the Ilgan. The Ilgan is your fundamental core, the essence of who you are. It defines your true nature and inherent talents. Second, your stage. This is the Wolji. The Wolji is the season, the environment, the specific stage where your character must perform. When your character, Ilgan, aligns perfectly with your stage, Wolji, your efforts are magnified. This alignment is the key to finding the optimal career path. It is not mere woon-se or luck. It is strategy. When we understand the scientific basis of the Ohaeng, the 5 elements, we unlock concrete strategies for modern life. Consider human conflict. Relationships often struggle due to conflicting elemental energy. By viewing disagreements through the lens of Ohaeng interaction, we stop taking things personally. We find a path to resolution, not simply reaction. Furthermore, we manage stress effectively. Stress is often a symptom of elemental imbalance, too much fire, not enough water. Knowing your inherent Saju balance allows you to proactively adjust your environment and manage your energy intake. We use calculation tools like Myeongrihak to map this energy flow. We are not simply predicting your fortune. We are executing a life strategy designed for luck improvement. Myeongrihak transforms your Saju from a fixed blueprint into an active strategic document. By knowing your character and choosing your stage wisely, you stop waiting for fortune to find you. You become the conscious director of your life's unfolding narrative. You have journeyed through the architecture of time. We have studied the profound principles of Myeongrihak. Perhaps, during this study, a silent question arose. Is my fate fixed? Many people fear their Sajupalja. They see it as a rigid destiny, a verdict that cannot be appealed. Let us dismiss that fear entirely. Sajupalja is not a cage. It is not a prison built to hold you. It is merely a specialized map. The Saju, derived from the Myeongrihak, simply illustrates your potential. It shows the geography of your soul. It reveals the talents you were born with and the emotional landscape of your changing wunse, or life phases. You are no longer a blind traveler. You know the terrain. Now, you recognize the stage on which you stand. You understand your inherent role. You are the lead actor, perfectly suited for this moment. But more profoundly, you are the author of your existence. You hold the pen in your own hand. The chapters that lie ahead are blank pages, waiting for your intention. Use this deep self-knowledge for continuous luck improvement. The study is complete. The work now begins. Step onto your stage and write a glorious story. Your life is not merely destiny unfolding. It is masterful creation in progress.